I am so happy to be here in Las Vegas, Nevada. How many of you love this place? Yeah, baby. This is a lot of fun. I tell you what, it's an experience to go all over the world. That's one of the things my wife and I love to do. We've done it as a family for years, and real estate has allowed us to do that. So one of the things you got to do while you're at this convention is set your goals. Decide what it is you want to do. What do you want to have? What do you want your life to look like? And real estate will give it to you. If you got one of these things, we're so proud of you. But we want you to put that thing on vibrate or mute and keep it quiet, because the rest of us don't want to know that you got a call. Is that true? Yeah. All right. Now, they call me the king of cash flow. And the reason for that is because I believe in buying and holding property long term. Not the short-term concept of buy and sell, even though we do that, and I teach you some ideas around buying and selling, but I really want you to buy and hold. That is where the wealth resides. It resides with folks that buy and hold. They have assets working for them instead of them working for it. Does that make sense? Yes, all right. So I want to teach you some things this morning. They call me the nation's leading expert on buying, selling, and holding property the most profitable way. So I want to teach you about profit centers this morning, some of the things that you've never thought of before that you can plug right into your own business. Now, every time you hear something you love this morning, I want to hear a yeah, baby. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, baby. One more time. Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. How many of you played Monopoly before? Yeah, baby. I learned real estate from Monopoly. My mom raised me in these old wartime style apartments. Imagine this: brown commercial tile on the floor, an oil burning furnace in the middle of the apartment, metal cabinets in the kitchen. A Samsonite card table was our dining table. Not nearly as comfortable of chairs as you're sitting in right now. Metal chairs. Until I was 17 years of age, that was our dining table. How many of you can identify with that? Yeah. See? It's amazing what you can learn. First of all, I have been poor and I have been rich. Rich is better. Yeah, baby. And I want to tell you that God rest her soul, my mother was a marvelous human being on the planet, but she did not understand money. And no one ever taught her about money. So I went and learned the Monopoly game. Now, in Monopoly, when you put a color group together, what can you do? You can buy houses, right? And so I followed the concept of the Monopoly game, and I started buying houses. And what I want you to learn is that you need to build a foundation of income and a foundation of wealth before you go play other games in real estate. Because one wrong move early in the game will take you out. Is that true? Yeah. Now, when you get 4 houses together in Monopoly, what can you do? Build a hotel. And when I got my foundation of income and I got my foundation of wealth and I got those assets working for me instead of me working for it, then I went and played this game right here. And we went and built a hotel from the ground up, and we learned about profit centers. And I want to teach you that you can have profit centers in every area of real estate. You're buying, you're selling, you're managing, you're holding, you're renovating. Those are important things to learn in order to be successful in this business. Now, today, we do condo conversions. We take land and divide it into lots, and we build houses. We're doing subdivisions, all kinds of different things because of the foundation of income and the foundation of wealth. How would you like to go anywhere you want, anytime you want, stay as long as you like, and buy anything you want? Yeah, baby. All right. So I want to teach you that that's what we've been able to do. We've gone all over the world together as a family. This is us in Rockefeller Plaza in New York. This is us in Egypt. We've been to Israel and Jerusalem and Bethlehem and all over the world. And no, this is not one of those pull-down screens that you stand in front of. This is actually us in front of the Sphinx and the pyramids in Egypt. We've been all over the place. My wife and I just got back from the Galapagos Islands. Yeah, baby. What a marvelous thing. You need to put that on your list of places to go, because it was a terrific experience. And I want you to... Machu Picchu. We went to Peru and climbed the mountain. It was just incredible. And real estate's allowed us to do that. How would you like to own an autopilot cash machine that churns out money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you don't have to? Yeah, baby. All right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. The plan for you to have what you want is cash now and cash flow later. All right. Now, I'm going to teach you some things. Is that a yeah, baby? Yeah. All right. Now, what do these companies have in common? You got Home Depot. You got Walmart. You got... let's see here, Lowe's, you got Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King. You got all these different places. And what do they have in common? Systems. Who said it? Who said it? Come over here. Come over here. I have a gift for you. I have a gift for you. The secrets of trusts revealed. Yeah. All right. See, systems are an important thing for you to learn. Many of you are running your real estate business by cobbling different concepts together, a form from over here, a concept from over there, somebody said something from over there, and we're putting that together and we're trying to call it a business. How many of you can identify with that? Yeah. See, I want you to understand something. We were doing the same thing. We learned that real estate has a system and that you can systematize the whole process if you've got the right tools. Well, back in my day when I first got started, and by the way, 29 years in the business, almost 3 decades of experience in buying, selling, and holding property. But back then, there was no system for me to be able to purchase and do. So what I had to do is cobble together things, and I had to take a lot of seminars. And I'm talking about the seminars of real life. And I've taken $10 and $20 and $50,000 seminars where I only learned one lesson. If you do something, whenever you make a mistake, you want to write that down. You want to put it in your system to make sure that never happens again. And every time you make money, you want to write that down. Put it in your system to make sure that happens again. Does that make sense? Yeah, baby. That's where we're going. Because what I've done is I've written down all the stuff I've learned in the last 29 years of being in this business. I wrote it down and put it in a system. Now, I don't have to be in my office when we do business because the system takes care of me. See, what does it Michael Gerber say? According to Michael Gerber, author of the E-Myth. How many of you heard of the E-Myth before? Important book for you to read. 1 million people go into business each year. Within 5 years, 96% are out of business. Look around, folks. The folks without a system, 96% will not be in this business in 5 years because they didn't learn that they could systematize the process. Yet, those who enter business with a franchise have a 75% success rate even after 5 years. Why? They got a system. Exactly right. Here, this is for you. Whoever said that? Yeah, baby. Okay, pass it back. All right. How many of you want one of these? All right, stick around with me. I'll show you how you can get one. All right. Now, these are the street smart systems that I'm sharing with you today. Here is the sign in front of my office in Tucker, Georgia. See, in Georgia, have a system to buy, sell, or rent property. We're communicating with the public. Our system brings people in and has us communicate with them. Now, have they passed out my information sheet? They have not. Folks, Janice, would you pass out the information sheet, please? Okay. So we're going to talk about the system, and I've already written this down for you, so you don't have to worry about taking notes on it. We're actually going to pass this out for you, because I'm playing a different game today than the Monopoly game that I was playing as a kid. Monopoly game I was playing as a kid had Monopoly money, right? And where do you start in that game? Go! Exactly right. So we're going to start at go with a whole new game. I want to teach you a game that's real estate the street smart way. And by that I mean that I'm going to teach you the non-traditional way to buy real estate, the non-traditional way to hold real estate, the non-traditional way to sell real estate, because that's where we found there's more money in this business. So we're going to start at go. We're going to learn how to buy right and buy cheap. How many of you are cheap in this room? Yeah, baby. All right, my kind of people. All right, next, number 2, we're going to learn how to create income to get out of the job. How many of you still work for somebody else? Wow, we got work to do. How many of you rather not work for somebody else? Okay, good. You've come to the right place. Next, we're going to learn how to use tax benefits to never pay taxes again. How many of you love that concept? Yeah, baby. All right. Next, we're going to learn how to be the bank. Not how to go to the bank, how to be the bank. You like that idea? Yeah, baby. You see, I'm 29 years in the business. I've never been to the bank for bank financing on a single family house purchase. Isn't that? Yeah, baby. Over 1,000 real estate transactions, never been to the bank for bank financing, because I figured out how to use the seller as the bank. And I figured out how to borrow money from nice people at 6%, interest accruing, no payments. How many of you like that idea? Yeah, baby. All right. We're going to talk about that too. Create retirement accelerators by paying down and paying off mortgages gets you freedom sooner than everybody else does. We're going to use profit centers to accelerate your cash flow so that you can get out of the job sooner, because you're going to get more cash flow than the traditional landlord does, than the traditional buy-sell guy does, because we do things different than everybody else. And then you need to learn to protect your assets by avoiding lawsuits. How many of you believe you can do all of this right, do that wrong, and lose everything? Yeah, baby. See, that's an important lesson for you to learn. We don't want to do all this work and then put ourselves in the path to lose everything that we've just created. So we got to be careful about that. And I want you to study, learn, systemize, and improve everything that you learn. You got to put it into your own system. You've got to own it. It's got to become part of what you do. It's got to become part of your system for making money in real estate. Now, next, intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. From my good friend Albert Einstein there. I hope you guys are taking notes. This is a mantra that we have in our office. Prevent the problem before it occurs. Prevent the problem before it occurs. Create something in your system that makes sure that you don't ever have to live that. Improve your system, solve the problems before they occur, and here's how. Step 1. Now, you're going to want to take notes all through the process here. I've given you the wheel, the wealth wheel. It's all filled in, so you don't have to worry about filling that out. Find no competition deals. How many of you have competition where you live? Oh, really? What about me, coming from Atlanta, Georgia? We call that the home of bandit signs. There's more bandit signs per square inch in Atlanta, Georgia than any other place on the planet. Our local association that I am a past president of and former trainer of all the people in Atlanta, I taught how to do real estate. 4,500 dues-paid members of our local association. How many of you think I got competition in Atlanta? You got it. We got telephone poles in Atlanta that says, I buy houses, I buy houses, I buy houses. I buy houses, I buy houses, I buy houses. I threatened to get a sign that says, me too. And my telephone number. So you got to understand that's what I'm faced with in Atlanta. So what do I do that's different than everybody else? I've got a deal finding checklist. We find deals other people don't know about. We go to the newspaper, nothing new about that, but we go to the for rent section of the newspaper as well. Now, the for rent section of the newspaper is where burned out landlords live. Folks that have gotten burned out on owning property long term because they never learned the skills to manage property the right way. So as a result, they have cleaned that place, they have painted it for the last time, and they want out. And you call up on the phone and say, would you consider selling that property? And they say, would I? That's the answer you're looking for, folks. I have bought some incredible deals through the for rent section of the newspaper. Do I have any competition on that deal? No, you see, there's no sign in the yard. They didn't even know they were going to sell it till I asked them. In many cases, they saw the chance to get out. Now, another question you want to ask is, what else do you have? Do you have anything else? Because I'm like Sam's Club. The more I buy, the less I pay. Buy packages of properties from people. It's one of my favorite ways to make a whole lot of money in this business. And I do foreclosures, and I do vacant properties. We send out letters and postcards to vacant property owners. How do I find those things? I've got bird dogs that find the deals for me. I've got attorneys that bring me deals. Divorce and probate attorneys that bring me deals that nobody else knows about. Why would they bring me those deals? They want to get paid. They've got a client that has no money. They'll call us up. We'll buy the property. They want to get paid. Another one that we do. Where is it? Cold canvassing. Some of you in this room have very little money to work with. Is that true? Yeah. You've got very little money to work with, but you've got time. What about this one? You can go out and create a deal that nobody else knows about. There's no sign in the yard. Now, that's what Michelle did. She's from Gilbert, Arizona. Anybody here from Arizona? Yeah, baby. Now, she went and took my concept, and I taught her a lot of different things about the profit centers in real estate. And I told her, Michelle, go knock on doors. It works. And here's what happened. She said, as a beginner, I tried various mail-outs to an array of homeowners. Received phone calls, nothing ever panned out. I decided to go knocking on doors, chosen a neighborhood with a stash of business cards, stepped out in 110-degree Phoenix weather. She's a brave soul, isn't she? Yeah, see, isn't she a lovely girl? See, she wasn't afraid, was she? She went knocking on doors. She said, a couple of hours after, and several streets, I only encountered one negative response. I was surprised. Most people were either interested or amused by what I was doing. They were laughing. The heat finally beat me. I called it a day. Half an hour after leaving, I received a phone call. Could I please come over? They needed to sell. After running comps, doing a quick estimate of repairs, I took the deed. It being my first deal and all, I hadn't given an ounce of thought to my exit strategy. She didn't know how she was going to get out of this deal that she had gotten in. 2 weeks later, she went back to the system, by the way. 2 weeks later, She submitted a short sale that I taught her. The way I taught her to do short sales, see, I do short sales different than everybody else. I don't get the bank's package. I send the bank our package. Our package is designed to elicit a discount. Our package is designed to get the discount, a different way of doing things. 2 weeks after that, they moved out, and then she submitted the short sale. They discounted the loan from $115,000 to $85,000. And then she followed my system for working with contractors, and they did the 9-day, $15,000 rehab job, and 3 weeks after completion, a family moved in. Here's the numbers. She bought it for $105,000. Let's see here, $105,000. She lease optioned it out for $145,000 with $3,000 down and a $300 a month cash flow. How many of you can use an extra $300 a month? That'll help, won't it? All right? And her back end, when those folks buy the property, if they buy the property, is $37,000. And then she went and did it again. 1 month later, she called me, Lou, I got that house too. 2 houses, no sign in the yard. Are you with me? You find deals nobody else knows about. That's our way of doing things, the non-traditional way. Got a lot more to teach you on that. It's in my system called buying. Is that clear? Buying. So that you don't get confused. Buying is different than selling, isn't it? Now, what do I mean? I mean that I want you to understand that you are in 2 businesses. You are in a buying business and you are in a selling business. Do we market differently to sell than to buy? Yes. So we need to do things differently, and there's profit centers in there. So we need different paperwork for doing it, buying versus selling. See, I want you to understand, I don't do this myself anymore. I have folks that bring the leads to me. They're bird dogs that are out there in the field doing these things for me. That's in your system called buying, by the way. Now, your success system continues. Step 2, convince the seller to do business with you. So we found a deal nobody else knows about. Now we're going to do a deal by convincing them to do business with us. Have you ever thought about how we look as real estate investors? Most of us don't have an office. Most of us don't have anything that makes it look like we're actually in business. How many of you work out of your homes? Uh-huh. Yeah. And now you're going to go sit down with somebody and say, now, your $200,000 loan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over payments. Uh-huh. Is that right? What makes me think I want to do business with you, brother? All right. So what you got to do is you need some credibility. You need a credibility kit. You need something that shows folks why they ought to do business with you. You need something that inspires people. Inspirational language, secret word, that inspires people to want to do business with you. Inspirational. All right. So have your own credibility kit. Have your own credibility kit. You see, what I've done for you is I've got this on disc. So you're going to be able to pull this up on your computer or a computer at Kinko's, put in your company name, your name goes down here, and here we go. Who we are, what we do, how we can help. The real world for sellers following the traditional selling process. How long it typically takes to sell the property. The dirty little secret your realtor doesn't want you to know. It will cost you to sell your house. And we actually start showing them the numbers right there. And how we benefit you. This is what a real estate investor can bring to the table that a traditional buyer cannot bring to the table. You see, we're communicating things to them to show them why they ought to do business with us soon, quickly. And we give them testimonials. Thanks for making it so easy to sell. We can now get a loan to buy our new house. We don't know what we would have done without you bailing us out. We surely would have lost money or been foreclosed. And then I've got a little cheat sheet for you of types of offers you can make to that seller. We'll take over your payments and give you debt relief. What kind of offer did we just make? Subject to the existing loan. Subject to the existing loan. You see, when I was 19 years old, I bought my first house subject to the existing loan. I could not qualify my way out of a paper bag when I was 19 years old, but I bought a house and I moved in. And my mom was my first tenant. She paid me $100 a month rent. Was that a good deal for her? Was that a good deal for me? Yeah, baby. Now, I want you to understand that it was that ability for me to be able to share the American dream and own a property without having to go to the bank and qualify for a loan that got me hooked. And then I bought my next house and next house and next house and next house and next house the same way. So you need a system for that. And you need to know how to communicate with a seller to get them to do what you want them to do. So your credibility kit will help you to do that. What we need to make an offer, another little cheat sheet for you of the things that you need to get from that seller, and the cost to sell guideline. Now this is magic, folks, because this is the non-traditional way that I buy houses. You see, I sit down with the seller as a counselor. We talk about their situation, and we talk about what we can offer them after we do the numbers. So we actually go through the numbers together, what they think the house is worth, and then we go through all the costs that it will cost them to sell that house, and we get down to the bottom line, and that's the beginning point of the negotiation. Now, many times that's more than they owe on the property. Whoa, whoa. Now, in other words, that they've got a larger loan than that bottom line number. Imagine this, non-traditional. Sellers routinely pay us to buy their house. How many of you love that deal? Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I had Dr. Carl Hassick. Dr. Carl, he used this system. And he bought a house on a lake with a 4.75% existing loan. He went through the numbers and showed the lady it was going to cost her $60,000 to sell her house the traditional way. He said, "Can you handle that?" She said, "Yes." He got a check for $60,000. On a house on a lake, 4.75% loan, $2,000 a month payment. What do you think he did with that? Moved in. You got 3 years of payments in your back pocket. What are you going to do? That's the way I want you buying your house that you live in. Your next house that you're going to live in. See? Have somebody pay you to buy the house. How many of you love that? Yeah, baby. All right. This is one that we did in class. We had I have a training called Millionaire Deal Maker, where we create deals. All we do in that boot camp is create deals. And in this one, we started with $400,000. By the time we were done, it was going to cost that seller $80,000 to sell that property. And when we got all done, the seller sold us that property, sold my student that property. He put $5,433 paid to the seller, and then took over that property, put it back out on a lease option. 2 weeks later, he had it sold for $419,900 with $20,000 down. Was that a good day? Is he in the black? Absolutely. That's where we want to be, because you got to structure the deals differently. And you need the right tools for your system. How many of you need this credibility kit for your business? Yeah, baby. How many of you want it for free? Yeah, baby. All right. Pay attention to me. I'm going to show you how you can get it for free. All right. Now, the next thing in our system Step 3, we got to ask the right questions. We've got to ask our seller the right questions. Now, what we use is we use a seller questionnaire. This is a questionnaire to ask the right questions, and it's a script for you. Because it's part of the system, our folks in the office follow this script to the letter. We ask them, are you looking to sell your house for what you owe on it? Yes. Yay. As long as your house qualifies, what we do is take over your payments until we get the house sold. Will that work for you? Yes, good. Then I'll need a little information. And that's where we gather all the information there. And then we ask an important question. What is your situation? Write that down. What is your situation? That is magic, folks. And then I've got another tool for you. One that you need to put everywhere you're going to be when you talk with a seller. Shut up! Shut up and listen to these people. They're about to tell you how you can buy their house. If you'll just listen to them. Important lesson. Is that a yeah, baby? Yeah, baby. All right. Important lesson. Because you find out what their issues are, what their problems are, and how we're going to be able to create it. Here's what happened to Sean. Sean is in Orlando, Florida. Sean took the system. In fact, let me tell you what Sean said. He says, first saw you in Orlando Investor Club. Heard so much about you, eagerly anticipating your presentation. Not let down, thoroughly blown away by your content. Only thing was, I had vowed not to buy any more courses. Believe me, I really struggled not to buy yours. Needless to say, I was stubborn. Funny, even after buying over $20,000 worth of courses, acquiring over a couple of $1 million in property, you still can learn a lot. Now, he goes on to say he found himself sitting in front of the sellers, sitting in front of the queen of negotiators. He got a flashback of me standing in front of the group screaming, shut up. He says he did just that, and he says it was amazing. At that moment, he did just that. And talk about silence. She was good. A minute and a half later, she accepted. $70,000 in equity convinced me, and I bought your course immediately. Since that time, I cannot emphasize the wealth of knowledge that I've received from you enough. He says, I have incorporated almost all your paperwork. My attorneys have reviewed many of your documents to make no changes and ask where I got them. Anyway, contemplating this purchase, I say the contemplation should not be on if you should get this information, but on if you're serious about this business. Lewis Brown gives you enough tools to make and keep millions of dollars. It's up to you to decide to pick them up and use them. This course has paid for itself and all the others I've bought more than tenfold. Is that a yeah, baby? Yeah, baby. Now, let me tell you something about Sean. He got that from my negotiation system. How many of you believe there's different personality types in this world? Hey, yeah, baby. You need to learn all the different personality types and how you can negotiate with them. In fact, I gave him an idea. He came on my Hawaiian cruise. Every year, Janice and I decide where we want to go, and you're welcome to come with us if you want to. Next year, in 2006, we're going to Alaska, and you can come on the southbound journey with us on Alaska. But I gave him an idea about how to deal with a tenant, and he sent me a picture of the $5,000 cash that he received 2 days after he returned from the Hawaiian cruise. Now, here's Sean. He's been written up this year in Orlando in the newspaper, Florida Today, talking about how he changes people's lives with giving them an opportunity to buy his houses using the lease option concept. And they gave him a marvelous write-up. Quest for home leads couple to lease options and new career. He now has over 50 properties that he's bought, and he's put them out the way I've taught him to, with all the profit centers, with all the good stuff. In fact, they did a whole multi-page write-up on him in Florida Today. And Sean's been very successful just doing what we tell you to do. So that's what I want you to know. Now, by the way, you need to ask more questions in your script, so I've got that built in for you as well. In all multiple questions. Step 4 in our process, structure the right kind of deal. I'm not going to have time to go into it today, but I want to share with you about how we structure deals when we go look at folks' existing financing and we go look at their situation. We craft deals that create the solution for them and for us to be able to make a profit. This is important, folks. This particular house, let me just show you what happened with it. Had a first mortgage of $285,000, a second mortgage of $160,000, back property taxes, repairs, the whole 9 yards, $461,000. Only problem was I had estimated the value at $450,000. Bad news, right? Doesn't make much sense. Well, here's what happened. I went to the bank and asked the bank to take less than they were owed on the mortgages. On the first mortgage, they went to $236,000. Watch this one. Whoa! They took, $21,500 on a $160,000 mortgage. Is that a good day? Yeah, baby. All right. And no discount on the property taxes. No discount on the repairs. And here we are at $265,500 on a $450,000. Is that a good deal? Yeah, baby. See, there's a system, and here's the money on that particular deal, by the way. All my expenses, everything that it cost me to do that deal, sale price $450,000 and a profit of $150,000. Is that a good day? Yeah, baby. Now, are we going to make $150,000 on every deal? No. How about 30 to 40 grand? You like that? That's my typical short sale profits on a transaction. So I want you to understand, you must have multiple ways to structure a deal. Not one or two, but multiple ways to structure a deal. So when you go sit down with that seller, you've got a system to be able to process the information that they give you, and you come up with an offer that makes sense to them and makes sense to you. Does that make sense? Yeah, baby. All right. So you'll get more of that in my Millionaire Jumpstart training.